If you didn't know, Emily Henry's novels have been dominating the romance section for the last 5 years. This is me, and I've only read People We Meet on Vacation back in 2021. We need to change that. So grab a coffee, get a cozy blanket, crack open your Kindle, and let's go. We're going to Barnes, we're knocking these books out, we're sharing our thoughts.
I love it. Maybe I'll understand the hype after I finish.
And it's all in preparation for,
quite stunning, with the pink and the orange,
her newest release. I apparently never introed this vlog, so this is me doing that. And we're starting with last year's release, Funny Story.
All right, I didn't take notes or anything when I was reading. I was just trying to kind of like get the vibes and like how I was feeling to know if I was gonna enjoy this reading vlog or not. And at first, like the first page, I was kind of like, oh God, what did I get myself into? I don't know why, but the first page I struggled. The first like 2 pages I struggled. And honestly, the whole first chapter I struggled to like get into her style of writing. I don't know what it is. So the last book that I read was Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like so I've read Evelyn Hugo, I've read Daisy Jones, I've read Malibu Rising, and now Carrie Soto. And before Carrie Soto, I wouldn't have said she's one of my favorite authors, but now, like, I kind of have to say that all of her books were like 5 stars for me. For some reason, I just get through them really quickly. I don't know what it is about the way that she puts words together. I don't know. And Emily Henry, I struggle to get into the groove of it. It's something about, I think it's something about the dialogue or something. Just maybe the words that she picks and where she puts them. I have to like reread it and be like, what did I just read? But maybe that's just me. And I also do hold grudges and I struggle to make decisions knowing what I know in the past. So I'm saying that to say, since in my mind I'm like, oh, I didn't really like People We Meet on Vacation, I might be kind of biased and I might be going into this with a pessimistic viewpoint. But to say all that, I did enjoy my first 75 pages. And I think I will finish this pretty quickly because I would like to know what happens. The other thing about me is that I'm not really a romance reader type of girl. I like literary fiction and I don't know why. I literally don't know why. You would think that's like so boring, but romance, I don't know. I'm just like, okay, they fall in love. Great, you know, like whatever. Like I don't really care that much, but that's just me and my personal problem, I guess. But basically in Funny Story, Daphne and I forget the guy already. I think his name is Will. Is his name Will? Anyway, Daphne is our main character. She is in her 30s and she was engaged to Peter. And then at his bachelorette party, Peter and his girl best friend, Petra, I think her name is Petra, confess their love for each other. And then he returns from his bachelorette to Daphne in their house that he bought for them and tells her, yeah, the wedding's not happening. Me and Petra are in love and we're gonna go away for a week so you can like pack up your shit, basically. Petra wasn't engaged, but she was dating our male main character. And wait, is it dual? But it is not dual point of view, so far at least. And so obviously he's heartbroken as well. And then Daphne's like, well, I don't know where I'm gonna live. And she's like, hey, like, how many bedrooms does your apartment have? So now they're living together and they don't really like talk much, but they're just, you know, cool roommates, whatever. But recently, kind of randomly, they started talking just like a little bit more and now their exes are engaged and they invited them to their wedding. So they're gonna go and they're gonna fake date. That's kind of where I am right now. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So far, I wouldn't say it's like a 5-star. I would say like 3 or 4, not bad at all. Like I'm enjoying it, but nothing crazy. But I do think and hope that there's gonna be a turn, something's gonna happen, and it might, I don't know, it might even get a little bit deep. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to reading tonight. Right now I need to go to work, but I'll be reading this when I get home and hopefully get to like halfway tonight. So I will check back in, but those are just kind of my first impressions of Funny Story. All right, I made a lot of progress last night and I'm now at 200 pages, which is 50% in, and I have some thoughts. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, yes, I'm liking it. And yes, like if I wasn't so tired last night, I could have kept going. One thing that's personally relatable to me is the fact that they live in Michigan. I believe they live in Michigan, and Miles, not Will, Miles is actually from just outside of Chicago, which is where I'm from. And my boyfriend's from Michigan, and we went to college in Michigan. So I kind of love that for me. I also wrote that it feels very realistic, their conversations, and seeing them become closer and closer so slowly versus just saying that, like, oh, over the weeks they start talking more and da-da-da. Like, actually seeing that in real time is kind of just happening without me even thinking about it. And then I'm like, oh, wow, like, they just spent so much time together without even, like, trying to. As much as I can't remember his name and I want to call him Will, I really love Miles. He is just a nice guy, and he kind of is like a little bit flirty towards Daphne, but I think he really is just a nice guy, and he's just like being kind, and those are my favorites. I think I do like Daphne as a character too. I just feel so bad for her that she like doesn't do anything for fun, doesn't really have any friends, and obviously that her fiance dumped her just before their wedding. And that part of the story, I don't think we think about it that much because that's like, you know, kind of happened. Like, we already knew that was happening when we started reading this book. But when you really stop and think about that, like, that is not okay. And so just, yeah. So I feel really bad for her. But I love that Miles, not Will, is encouraging her to stay here and not make Peter be the reason that she is, what do you say? Is it upending your life? I don't know. Picking up her life and moving to a different location now more than once if she leaves Michigan. I think his encouragement also kind of was the initiation or like the catalyst for her friendship now with Ashley, who was like her coworker. I don't think she would have gone out with Ashley that first night if it wasn't for Miles telling her that he works at that winery. So shout out to Miles for getting Daphne out of her comfort zone and to be a little social and do fun things and make friends. Back to Miles being such a nice guy. When he came back to their apartment with a coffee from the place that he saw her have a cup from yesterday, and he got the wrong thing, but still him just like taking a mental note, like seeing her with that coffee cup in her hand and saying, oh, I'm gonna get her one of those on my way home. Can't remember his name, but I love him. We have some elements of like a mystery because we don't really know much about Miles and his past, and Peter, Daphne's ex-fiance, hate him, mentioned something about like, oh, he doesn't talk to his family, like, so I'm liking that little extra aspect of like, is he gonna turn out to be a bad guy? Like, is there stuff that we need to know about his past? I don't know. And I guess a similar thing with Daphne is that she like kind of has daddy issues, and she, you know, obviously has had to move a lot in her whole life, and she mentioned that like she doesn't like waiting around, which goes back to her daddy issues, and I like that Miles is considerate of that. Okay, last couple of things. I also like how this book is very bookish because she's a librarian and she talks a lot about books and stuff like that. And I've also heard that about one of the older Emily Henry book lovers. I either hear that people like hate that one like how I didn't like People We've Been on Vacation, or that's like the best one. So I don't know, I'm scared, but I'm excited to read that at some point this week. Two things that she has said multiple times now. She said whitewashed twice, and I mean, it's fine. It just, when I saw it, it was just like, why am I seeing this again? And then another one, guffawed. I could be saying that wrong, and I could be totally not understanding what she's saying, but she said that 3 times now, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And she said it 3 times in 200 pages, and it's giving me the ick. But I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna try and finish. I don't know if this is possible because I still have 200 pages. Is it possible for me to finish right now? I don't know. But I'm excited to see what happens between Daphne and Miles. I'm also thinking that their exes, Peter and Petra, are gonna end up being very, very jealous of them. I think they kind of already are. And I'm curious how things are gonna work out with like the ex-best friend of Daphne's and all of that. I also wrote down that I forget how hard it is to not talk about an ex because they keep bringing up their exes and they're like, cut it out, like stop it, like we need to stop talking about them. But I've been in a loving relationship for like 4 years now. I mean, yeah, when you break up with somebody, your lives are so intertwined that afterwards it's like, oh yeah, like we used to, like, how do you not? Yeah, I feel bad for them. I just finished Funny Story pretty quickly. It's just under 400 pages. It's like 385 or something like that. So much happened in the second half. We explored our daddy issues. We heard from the exes. We faced our fears. We discovered ourselves, and we got a happy ending. So it was kind of a lot to take in, but I did enjoy it, and I liked how it played out. I liked the ending. I liked the overall sort of theme and message, I guess you could say. I wouldn't say it was too long, but I do think it could have probably lost, I don't know, 30 pages. But yeah, I would give this 4 stars. I mean, I'm pretty chill with my ratings. My ratings shouldn't matter at all, but I will say 4 stars, and I will say I'm excited to keep reading the Emily Henry books. This didn't make me like dread the fact that I have 3 more to get through. This made me excited for that. So I think I would love to go to Barnes right now and pick up my next read. If I'm being honest, I did get notified today that I now can read Book Lovers for free through Libby. So Funny Story was free through Libby. I have Beach Read downloaded free through Libby, and now I have Book Lovers downloaded free through Libby. But something in me is telling me that I want to go to Barnes and purchase Happy Place. Happy Place is like everyone's favorite, and if I'm gonna buy any of them, I think it should be that one because of that and because it's a really cute cover. It has 3.96. Funny Story had 4.21. Book Lovers has 4.11, and Beach Read 3.99. So actually Happy Place has the lowest. Well, actually, let's see People We Meet on 3.85. So People We Meet on Vacation has the lowest. Then it's Happy Place at 3.96. After that is Beach Read at 3.99. Book Lovers at 4.11. And Funny Story is the highest at 4.21. Shoot, I set myself up to fail because I started with the highest rating. I should have checked this before. I think I'm still gonna go.
Saw this whole Emily Henry section when I was here the other day, and I couldn't believe it, and I knew when I was getting a new book to read of hers, I would have to come here. It's like they knew I was doing this video and reading all of her books. Honestly, Funny Stories covers just really vibrant. The like bluish purple is really cute, and I also like, what do you call this? The seam? The stem? Oh my gosh, I need to go back to elementary school library, but that's really pretty too. Honestly, before I got up this morning and saw that I had Book Lovers come through the Libby app, I wanted to get this one, and I still might at a later date, but I think I should be smart and read it for free on my Kindle because I love my Kindle, but definitely need to get Happy Place.
Back in the car, and I was checking out some bookmarks because I have no like cute bookmarks. I usually just use, I have like what do you call it, like a photo booth photos of me and my boyfriend, and I use that. I have some from like bookstores that they give you for free, but nothing super cute. So I got this one. I don't honestly like this. Maybe I'll even take it off, but it says I have no shelf control, and I just thought all the colors and everything was really cute, and it was less than $3. This one I saw, and it just reminded me of Magnolia Parks. So again, less than $3, and I just had to get it. And I actually do like the little tassel on this. It's cuter than the other one. The other one, I mean, it's not bad. It just kind of gives baby girl. As you saw, I got Happy Place. So I will take this home and start it tonight. first impressions on Happy Place. All right, I started this last night and I made it 50 pages into chapter 6. And I think I'm gonna like this even better than I like Funny Story, because I love the friendship that Harriet has with her best friends Sabrina and Cleo. Literally the whole first chapter I had to keep stopping because I was like, wait, this is so cute. They like met in college and they just have done everything together. They know everything about each other and it's just so cute, and it was just warming my heart. And I just love how they go to Sabrina's family's summer home on the coast of Maine every like summer or whatever, lobster fest every summer. I just love that. And I feel like in Funny Story, since Daphne like didn't have any friends, I totally get that's her thing, that's relatable, you know, she's different, that's fine. But I think personally I am going to like Harriet's relationship with her friends and how that goes into this whole story of her and her ex-fiance pretending to still be together for this weekend or week or however many days they're there at this summer house. I just think I'm going to continue to enjoy it. I also still haven't read the full summary. I kind of know, you know, mostly what it's about, but I haven't read the full summary because, you know, I don't like to do that. I like to kind of go in with a little bit of surprise. Again, it took me a minute on the first like page. I had to read the first couple of pages a couple of times because I don't know what it is about starting a new book. Usually it's more so starting a new author. So Funny Story, like the first page I was looking at it for a few minutes. I thought going straight from that into this that I would be fine because it's obviously the same author, but I still struggled. I think it's just starting a new book and being like, wait, where are we? What's the time period? Who's the main character? That's always a struggle. I honestly hate starting a new book, but I did enjoy the first 50 pages of Happy Place and I'm going to continue to read it. And my bookmark is so cute. I'm obsessed. What's on the back? Little ruler. Cute. I have made it to 154. This is chapter 15. So I'm like almost halfway through. I think halfway will be just under 200. So I'm almost halfway through and I have some thoughts. I wrote some notes down. This is giving my Magnolia Parks vlog. I literally wrote, I love it. I love the back and forth, the dual timeline situation. For some reason, I wrote, it's giving me Magnolia Parks vibes. I don't know why. It's just like reminiscent of it. The friend group, the breakup, but like we're still around each other, the learning about the past, how they got together, how they broke up as we go. It's giving Magnolia Parks and I love it. I last night did not want to put it down, but I had to go to bed. I'm glad that this is one of the ones that I bought to have like a physical copy of it, because not only is it super cute and pink and girly, but I do think this is going to end up being one of my favorites. Our main characters, the main couple, is Harriet and Wynne. I wrote, it seems like Harriet and Wynne are not the only two hiding an issue. So the best friends, Cleo and Sabrina, and their respective partners seem like they're having their own secret struggles. So I'm interested to find out more about sort of what everyone's going through. And I think that's going to end up being sort of like the overall theme, I guess, is like less about Harriet and Wynne's relationship, even though that's like the main point. Obviously it's a romance. Same with Funny Story, where it was a romance, and so it was like they have to have a happily ever after of like meeting each other, falling in love, ending up together. But the overall kind of like message for that one was about like, you don't have to be a we in that book. And in this book, I think it's gonna be more about the happy place of them all together, the friend group as a whole. So that's just my guesses. I wrote page 120. We find out a little bit more of why they broke up, and it's giving miscommunication, possible infidelity, but we're still kind of learning more about why they broke up. I also wrote things that I'm finding to be a pattern with Emily Henry. I'm saying pattern like is a pattern technically 3 or more? I don't know. Love is a Battlefield song. It played in Funny Story when Daphne was trying on her wedding dress with Ashley and the sister. What was the sister's name? Julia. And then in Happy Place, it played in like a bar or something they were going to as a friend group. And so that stuck out to me. I wonder if maybe it'll be in all the other books too. That's kind of cool. And then my least favorite word that I think I read 3 times in Funny Story was guffaws, whatever that means. I've read it twice in this book now. The first time I was gonna let it slide, but the second time I'm like, okay. And I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
Guffaw.
Here it is.
Guffaw.
I don't like it, and I've heard it twice in this book now already. And it's a loud and boisterous laugh, which I mean, I get what it means, but why do we have to say that? Can we not? So that's an ick of Emily Henry. Flashback Wynne is sharing how he thinks he's boring and that once people get to know him, the novelty rubs off and they get bored with him. Happened with his most recent ex who left him for her yoga instructor. I wonder if this is hinting at how he feels things went down with him and Harriet. Again, miscommunication, but from his point of view, maybe he did think it was infidelity. So I thought that was interesting because this sounds like a personal struggle for Wynne, and he needs to unpack that. But yeah, so that's where I'm at, just about halfway, hoping to finish tomorrow. Today's Saturday, so I read a lot last night, surprisingly. I wasn't expecting to. Maybe tonight I can get to like 250, and then maybe I can finish tomorrow. I did not read at all yesterday. That might be true. But I now passed 200 pages, so I'm definitely more than halfway. And I just found another guffaw. So I think this is the 3rd one in Happy Place, and there were 3 in Funny Story. So hopefully this is the last one. But yeah, it's Sunday morning. I am just chilling until I have to go to an event in about an hour. But I just wanted to get some reading done because earlier in the week, a couple days ago, I thought I would finish this today. I guess I still could finish it tonight, but probably not. Still loving it, loving the back and forth, learning more about how they got together, how their relationship was when they were together, and trying to learn more about why they broke up and how they actually feel about each other right now, because I'm confused. Like, why are we not together? I don't remember where we left off, but I wanted to do a check-in as I am about to read the last 100 pages. I just learned how the breakup went down. However many, 5-6 months ago when Harriet and Wynne actually broke up. Again, I love the back and forth dual timeline situation. Learning how they met when they were friends after graduation, getting together and telling everyone they're together, living together in San Francisco, and then how they broke up and didn't tell anybody. If you can't tell, I am obsessed. I think this is I know this is already a 5-star, and this is giving, what is it called? Love in Other Words. It's kind of giving that, but different. It's not at all too similar where I'm somebody copied somebody or, oh, boring, it's the same story. But it gives me that same vibe, and I absolutely love it. I'm sick over the way that they broke up, but I'm so happy to have that background information now. And now we have 100 pages, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Are they gonna get back together? Are they gonna tell everyone that they broke up? What's gonna happen? But yeah, this is definitely gonna be my favorite out of the Emily Henry books. And I'm so glad I bought it to actually have the physical copy. So let's finish it. Alright, we are now at 2 down, 2 to go. I absolutely loved Happy Place. 5 stars. I don't know what I got on it. I love the dual timeline. I love the friend group. I just love it all. I just love it all. I also wasn't really expecting the issues within the friend group to be a bigger thing in the last 100 pages. I liked that. It felt, I don't know why, I just enjoyed it. And I like that it seems that she writes a lot about her main characters in their 30s rather than their 20s, which I feel like everyone else does. I haven't read any Abby Jimenez yet. She's next on my list, but it's nice to have some older main characters. But I love this. This is probably gonna be my favorite one. After I finished that, I didn't know if I wanted to do Book Lovers or Beach Read next, but as you saw, I started Beach Read just briefly. I literally only read the first chapter, which is like 13 pages, but I did take some notes on my first impressions. I wrote, okay, wow, I wasn't expecting this whole dad had a second hidden life thing. I went in kind of blind. I went in very blind. I actually have no idea what this is about, like at all. Happy Place I kind of did. Funny Story I very much did. But Book Lovers and Beach Read, I think I also kind of maybe get them mixed up. So, but I'm already super interested to hear more about, you know, her dad, and then she was living with a boyfriend, but now they're not. I'm confused. I haven't read the summary at all. I've got my order mixed up, but now I know the correct order of like when these books came out. So Beach Read was first. It's not the first novel she's ever written, but in this like sort of same vibe, very similar covers type of, and I think they're actually subtly interconnected. Like apparently there's like hidden Easter eggs in a couple of them, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Beach Read was first in 2020, then Book Lovers, then People We Meet on Vacation, I believe, in 2021, and then in 2022 would be Book Lovers, and then 23 Happy Place, 24 Funny Story, and obviously 25 is Great Big Beautiful Life. That's coming out very soon in 6 days for me when I'm filming this right now. And then last thing for my first impressions is we have another Michigan, Chicago, Midwest setting, and I need to see if that's where she's from because I'm seeing a pattern here. Yes, studied creative writing at Hope College and now spends most of her time in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, and the part in Kentucky just beneath it. So, I don't know, but we've got, I guess, 2 books now, Funny Story and Beach Read, that are Michigan, Chicago, Midwest based. I love that for me. I've made it halfway through Beach Read. I'm 52% in. I'm at page 199 and I have 2 hours and 56 minutes left in the book. I have to say, I've been very much struggling with this one. Literally the first note that I have is struggled for a bit. Very descriptive of little unnecessary things. Like, the best way to describe this is, you know how Jessa Hastings writes how everything is very poetic and romantic and just pretty, the way that she says everything, like everything is quotable in Magnolia Parks. I don't mean this to be like rude, but it's almost like Emily Henry's doing that, but in a way that my mind can't understand it. There's just too many descriptions. I'm like, let's get to the point. It's not working for me. So once we got to making the connection of the neighbor being Gus, the guy from college, and the big writer in the town, the story becomes more interesting. It's like, okay, I know what we're here for, what we're doing. Also, the reappearance of people from her dad's past. I'll put it that way to not give any spoilers, even though I'm sure everyone has already read this book because it's old and it's very popular. I love that mystery, unexpected, a little bit of drama. That's fun. I have to know the obsession with Bridget Jones. Never seen it, never read it. I don't know if it even was a book. Sorry, I'm not fluent in my rom-coms, but it was mentioned in here. It's been mentioned in Beach Read many times. It was also mentioned in Funny Story a couple of times, so I don't know if that's one of the little like Easter eggs of, you know, the little like motif that she has going on. I will say though, I just thought of this right now, I haven't heard her say the word guffawed. Thank God, because that was really getting me in the last 2 books. Also, Bridget Jones was mentioned in Better Than the Movies. It's YA, a completely different author, but just had to point that out. I clearly need to know more about Bridget Jones. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm halfway through now. I'm really struggling to read it. I find myself continuously rereading sentences multiple times and then still not knowing what I'm reading and just having to move on and be like, oh, I guess I'll never know. It's just a lot. I can tell the difference between this one and Funny Story and Happy Place. I can tell the 2-3 years of a difference. And if I didn't know, if I had to guess, I wouldn't even think that this would be the same author. As crazy as that sounds. And I'm not like shitting on this book, but it's not one I would recommend. But I still have 50% to go. I have about, what, 200? I have like 180 pages left to go, but this is gonna be a no for me. It's gonna be 4 stars or less, probably 3. I gotta keep going. I've only been reading for maybe 15 minutes since I last updated, but I just reached my first guffawed in this book, and I spoke too soon, and I wish I was recording my live reaction to when I read that word. The disappointment that I have right now, and I feel like I have more to say because I feel like nothing's really happening. He's playing the Xbox, so sorry if you can hear that, but I feel like nothing's really happening, and I'm also getting a little bit confused, or not confused, but mixed up in the storylines of Gus and January, our main characters, but also the people that they're interviewing for their book, Dave and Grace, and then the imaginary characters that they're making up for their book, and like all of their stories, and I can't remember whose trauma is whose, and everything's kind of getting jumbled up in my brain. And I also don't feel like much is happening. Like if I had to explain to somebody what's going on in this book, yeah, I'm not enjoying. And then she just said my least favorite word ever. But I'm gonna get through it, and maybe I'll understand the hype after I finish, but I doubt it. I made it through Beach Read, and I just pulled up to Barnes & Noble, and I think I'm gonna buy Book Lovers. I do have it from Libby on my Kindle, but I feel like I want to read it physically, so I'm gonna do that. And I probably shouldn't spend extra money on a book that I can already read on my Kindle, but something about it is making me want to buy it physically, and I'm allowed to do that, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let's go.
They were back, and I forgot that it's Saturday and everyone and their mother is here. Love that for me. Here she is, secured the bag. I wonder if I should read the summary for once, or if I should just keep my going in blind situation. I just know this one's gonna be bookish because it's literally Book Lovers. Beach Read was also bookish, obviously because they're both authors. Honestly, so was Funny Story, because she was a librarian.
I hate going to Barnes when it's packed like that, but I got Book Lovers. It looks like it's about the same as Beach Read, $3.75-ish. I don't know, it looks like very thick, but I'm excited for it. I think the cover's really cute. The orange is not my favorite, but I do like the blue. I'll probably start this tonight and hopefully finish it by Monday, because the whole point of all this is reading these all before the new release comes out on Tuesday. I'm like 23% in. I'm at page 102, and I have some first impressions to share. I've been doing pretty good. I've been reading pretty fast with this one, probably because I spent all day basically binging Beach Read, and so I'm just kind of on a roll right now. I'm going in totally blind with this one. Like, I don't even have any sort of idea of what it's about, because originally, like before I started this vlog, I was getting Book Lovers and Beach Read confused, because I, for some reason, thought Beach Read's plot of like the two authors switching genres and figuring out how they would do in each other's genres was going to be this one, because obviously Book Lovers, like, and then like back to back, like that would make sense to me. But no, that was Beach Read, so I literally have no idea what this is about. Even 100 pages in, I still kind of don't.
So far, we are on vacation. Nora, our main character, is on vacation with her little sister, Libby. I think like 4 years younger than her. She married the first man that she ever like dated at 20. She has 2 kids, now she's pregnant with her third. They like are struggling financially, all of that. And Nora, our main character, is kind of like a shark. People apparently have nicknamed her that. She is not an editor, but she is like a literary agent. So she connects authors with editors. The way that she describes herself in the very beginning and even throughout is she is the person in the trope where, like, if a guy is in a relationship and he goes to some small town, meets like a nice girl who works at the local coffee shop and whatever, but back home he's dating a shark who is always working, always on her phone, has a specific like workout class that she does every day, doesn't want kids, like that type of vibe. And the guy would go to this small town, meet that nice girl, end up falling in love with her, staying with her, never going back to the other girl in the big city, and like quitting his job and staying there and all that. That's Nora, our main character, and that apparently has happened to her like 4 times now in her life, where a guy has literally done that, left her, went on like a work trip or something like that, and never returned. And apparently like people feel like she has no feelings and this and that. So that's Nora. She's currently on vacation with her sister Libby, who is very pregnant, and they're vacationing in the small town where Nora's longtime author that she has been working with to connect with editors, most recent bestseller, I guess you could say, was set. Dusty. I don't know if that's her real name, but Dusty is an author that Nora has worked with for many, many years, and her last book was set in this town, and her little sister, Nora's little sister, Libby, loved the book, loved the setting of this town, so wanted to get away and go on a sister's trip to this town. There we run into Nora's like enemy editor, Charlie, who 2 years ago in the prologue did not want to have anything to do with Dusty's book, which now 2 years later is very popular and all this stuff. So Charlie is kind of her like work enemy, and he apparently is from that town, and she just ran into him in a bar, and now they're like getting to know each other, sharing trauma, and kind of explaining themselves for that first time that they met. And like he was rude to her, she was rude to him, and that's kind of how they became enemies. And so they're kind of unpacking that first meeting and sharing the reasons why. She had just gotten dumped, he was dealing with his own stuff. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I am doing both the physical book. I keep almost hitting myself in the face with this, but I'm doing both the physical book and reading on my Kindle. 100 pages in, about a fourth of the way, which is great. More than that, actually, because if it's less than 400, I should be like 27 or something like that. I am liking it. I have nothing bad to say right now. I have no idea where it's going to go, if it's going to focus more on Nora's relationship with her sister, because that's kind of the first like 70 pages, that's really all it's getting, which I love. I love a sister story, but I can't tell if that's going to be a big part of it, or if, I mean, I can assume that Nora and Charlie's relationship is going to flourish, and that's going to be the love story of it all and the main point of the book. But I hope, I'm liking it. Like I said, I have nothing bad to say, but I hope it goes into a little bit more clear of a direction. I would think Nora and Charlie's relationship is going to continue after this night in this bar, and her relationship with her sister is kind of going to be like a secondary subject, but then it's going to like, something's going to happen, it's going to blow up, and then they're going to have to resolve that, and then he's going to be in the back burner, and then they're going to have to like, you know, that's my assumption, but I love that. I'm excited for that. Good morning. This is not the hair, I'm just stretching it out. I am about to leave for work, but I got a lot of reading done last night, and also when I was walking on my walking pad this morning, and so I made it to, I think, 177, so I'm like almost at the 50% mark, so I figured I would just do my halfway check-in now. First of all, we're definitely in a romance, in a love story. That is clear now.
that Nora and Charlie are going to fall in love and have already started falling in love. And I love that for them. It's just giving enemies to lovers. I will say it's a bit quick how they kind of switched from enemies to already lovers, but it's fine. I'm not upset. We've learned more about Charlie. And not only, what is it called? Is it called Sunshine Falls, or did I just make that up? Whatever the town is from the book. Not only that is his hometown, but that his parents and his family are very like involved in the community, and like they own some of the shops and stuff like that. So learning more about him and his background, kind of why he's living back there now and working remote for the company that they work for. And that's pretty much where we are in the story. But I have noticed some recurring themes or some motifs in a few of Emily Henry's books. A lot of us have daddy issues. Nora has daddy issues. What was the last book? In Beatree, January had daddy issues. And in Funny Story, Daphne had daddy issues as well. The other one is a dead parent. Currently in Book Lovers, now I'm like getting all the names mixed up. Nora has a mom that is dead and a deadbeat father, so she's got them both. In Beatree, the dad died. Happy Place, I don't think anybody died. Oh yes, in Happy Place, the fiance's dad died. Funny Story, I can't remember if anyone died in Funny Story, but so there's a pattern here. And then another very important one is some sort of like challenge or like a bet or like a big secret that we're keeping. In Book Lovers, Charlie has now basically challenged Nora to complete the kind of like bucket list that her and her sister Libby made. And now I see how Libby is tying into the main like romance story, because if Nora completes this challenge and wins this like bet with Charlie, he will let her rent out his 3-bedroom New York apartment for Libby and her husband and their many kids. Because like I said before, they're struggling financially and they like need a big place. So now I see how Libby's fitting into all of this, and now we sort of have like a goal for the end of the story. I am enjoying it. Just wish I wasn't so tired last night. I could have gotten way further. I'm hoping to finish today after work and tonight. So I will see you then. I finished Book Lovers last night and I absolutely loved it. I think 5 stars. Great job guessing on my part with both Happy Place and Book Lovers to buy the physical copy, because they are my 2 favorites. And I also love that I was fully blind for this one. All the other ones I kind of knew like the premise or like what they were supposed to be about, but this one I had no idea. And I love that for me. And I actually still haven't read the summary, so maybe I should do that now. Yeah, I feel like the summaries in the back of the book never are actually the vibe that you get from reading the actual book. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I do have thoughts. Wow, I can't believe I was at like 150 and then finished it. So my thoughts are very expansive. Okay, so we started to get a conflict with Libby, her little sister, and it was kind of just like she was acting weird. We didn't know what was going on. I was shocked by the end of the book when we got 2 very unexpected like reveals, I guess, one from Charlie and one from Libby. And I really wasn't expecting that in the book, and I kind of liked that. I was like, oh, like I found myself actually like gasping. I mean, like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I also love the dynamic between Libby and Nora and kind of like the sisterhood struggles, and like Nora wanting to be very motherly toward Libby, but Libby ending up like not enjoying that and not wanting her to be like that, and how Libby remembers their childhood very different than Nora does. Nora sort of romanticizes it while Libby romanticizes it, while Libby is more of a realist in the way that she remembers their childhood. And she's like, well, we were poor and mom only cared about like living in New York and living out her dreams, and she put that above everything, and so she was always tired and exhausted and like we were poor, all of that. And Nora remembers it very differently, and so that is kind of like a conflict between the 2 of them. But we also found out more, and I'm glad we did, because I didn't want him to like show up and then just like didn't matter to the story. The very first attractive man that Nora found in Sunshine Falls, he comes back around. Because at first it was kind of like, oh wow, there is a bunch of attractive men here. And there's this guy, the coffee shop, and then there's another guy. And that other guy, she looks closer and it's actually Charlie, and that's how we were first introduced to him. But the very first attractive guy that she saw actually turns back around, and we like go on a date with him, and we learn more about him, and we actually learn his connection with Charlie, so that was interesting. Something that I thought was funny for myself is Nora and Charlie were kind of having like a little bit of an argument, not really, and it had me thinking, I was like, what did I just read where there was a character who was like, oh, we're really good at fighting? And it was literally Harriet from Happy Place, I think. So I thought that was interesting that I found myself thinking of another Emily Henry book without even meaning to. As you saw, we only had one guffawed. It was page 290, and it broke my heart when I saw it, but it's fine, we can move on. I still love the book, 5 stars. And like I said days ago, I heard that there are some Easter eggs between the books that kind of like connect them all. Not really, but kind of. And in this one, there were 2 instances where Nora is talking about a book by January Andrews, which is our main character in Beach Read, the author. And I noticed it the first time, probably because I just read that other book. But then in the very last chapter, well, I can't really give it away, but in the very last chapter, it happens again. There's a new book release from January Andrews, and I thought that was cool, a little connection. And actually, Charlie edited the circus book that January was writing in Beach Read. Anyway, finished the book, loved it. That's what I have to say about it. My final thoughts on all the Emily Henry novels that I've now read, because I've read all of them. These are my 2 favorites. I don't know which one I like more. Maybe Happy Place, but I don't know. 5 stars for Happy Place, 5 stars for Book Lovers, 3 stars for Beach Read, 4 stars for Funny Story. And again, I read People We Meet on Vacation in 2021 or 2022. That was like a 3-star for me. I feel like if I read it again, it could be bumped up to like a 4 or maybe even a 4.5. So maybe that will be a reread for me in the future, but definitely not now. But yeah, that's my rating for all the Emily Henry books. I think overall that's pretty good. 2 5 stars, a 3 and a 4. I think that's like a 4.25 average. I used to be good at math, I swear. I can't believe I finished all 4 of these this quick. I'm very proud of myself. And I, of course, will be rewarding myself. I just got out of rehearsal, so I'm trying to, like, make myself look like a real person. But like I said, I'm going to treat myself. So, we're outside Barnes. Yet again, I've been to this exact Barnes, like, 3 times in the last week and a half, so they probably are afraid of me. But I just want to see, I mean, I hope they have a nice display for the new release. I don't know, I just want to see it, maybe buy it, I don't know.
Okay, so we didn't get a full like display, but we did have a full table for it. And I have to say, I'm usually not a fan of hardcovers, but this is quite stunning with the pink and the orange. It says, she was the stuff of legend. Alice Scott is an eternal optimist still dreaming of her big writing break. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud, and they're both on balmy little Crescent Island for the same reason. To write the biography of a woman no one has seen in years, or at least to meet with the octogenarian who claims to be the Margaret Ives. Tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. So I did hear that it was kind of giving 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, in that it's like we're writing a story about a scandalous star. I moved away because there was too many people. But, so like I said, kind of giving 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo with the writing someone's biography, but also giving classic Emily Henry because there's like 2 writers and it's a competition or a challenge or a bet. I don't know, but I think I've decided I'm getting it. So cute. Wonder what it looks like underneath, and it's pink and it says it was brief and it was beautiful. So cute.
All right, I did what I needed to do. Spent too much money on a book since it's paperback, but I'm very excited about this one. I probably won't start it immediately because like maybe I should take a break from Emily Henry, but she's beautiful and I needed to buy her. I think that is going to conclude this reading vlog. It has been a long one. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably either read all of Emily Henry's books and love them all, or you want to see if they're for you. I would say give it a try. I know a lot of people say it's hit or miss, but I think I've done pretty good. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!